Hi everybody, it's only me. I'm on the night to talk about some old music.
Hey, that's me, that's that. What are you doing?
Hi.
Don't give me crap impressions of your dad. Out.
What up?
Damn, cheeky buggers. Yeah, shut the door. Hi everybody, it's only me. Yeah, that was a cheeky bugger there. Taking the mickey out of her dad. Sitting there talking about how I'll be talking about music and stuff as if it's like dead boring. But the night I'm going to do wants a special request for Big Paul Keane, the singer in Five Field Drive that I'm in Five Field Drive with. He says, why do you know day one about Whitesnake? But it would take pure ages to do all Whitesnake, so the night I'm going to cheat and going to do part 2 first, because the part 1 be quite easy to do, because Whitesnake's one of the bands that they've got like a runny about, again, any tap band has got a runny about 5 or 6 albums where they're on top of their game, and that would be part 1 of Whitesnake. So I'm going to pick this one up after Slip of the Tongue, and I'm going to get into it because it's going to take a wee while probably, because there's a lot to cover, there's a lot to unpick here actually. And I've got stuff to do later on, so I need to crack on with it, but I've not done one of these for ages, just purely because it's been quite busy over Christmas and I just couldn't be bothered, to be honest. But I'm going to do Whitesnake tonight, picking up for Slip of the Tongue, where Whitesnake had kind of taken over the world, played at Donington with Steve Vai, and then David Coverdale decided that he was rapping the band for a while. He did a kind of solo thing for the film Days of Thunder with Tom Cruise, one solo song, who remembers it, no me. And the other guys that were in the band, Steve Vai buggered off, Adrian Van den Berg, Rudy Sarzo and Tommy Aldridge formed a band called Manic Eden, and we'll pick it up for there. David Coverdale was going to take a break for the music industry for a while, but then it turned out he was working with former Led Zeppelin guitar player Jimmy Page, and they recorded an album, and it's called Coverdale Page. This came out in 1993. It is what you would imagine it to be. It's somewhere between, see, the arse end of Whitesnake, they probably slide it in. David Coverdale was trying to turn Whitesnake into a kind of modern day stadium rock Led Zeppelin style thing, so this is where Coverdale Page just makes so much sense. Jimmy Page had done the remasters in 1990 for Led Zeppelin and had wanted to go on tour, but Robert Plant had never wants to do these things, so who do you get? And you get David Coverdale, who's been doing an impression of Robert Plant for about 5 years before this. Really good album actually. This never gets the praise it deserves. Ken, this could have been a really big deal if it hadn't came in at 1993, right at the beginning of grunge rock. Last Thing You Want is too old, Ken. At the time, they were probably a bit younger than me at the time, but Ken, at the time they were seen as kind of, I don't want to call them old guys, I like to call them elder statesmen. And Jimmy Page, probably the more of the star of this album than David Coverdale. I would put this definitely the best stuff that Jimmy Page had done since Physical Graffiti. Again, that's even including the last couple of Led Zeppelin albums. They were meant to be going on tour. I'd love to have seen that tour. They did a couple of shows in Japan which are on YouTube, where they do a bit of Whitesnake, a bit of Led Zeppelin, a bit of Coverdale Page. But with the grunge thing coming in, it was decided that they weren't going to do any more touring outside of Japan. So I would love another one of them actually, Coverdale Page. Track that down if you can get hold of it. It's a lost classic for me. Ken, it's actually a polarising album. Some folk don't really like it. I think it's a lost classic. Moving on, 1994, they brought out this Whitesnake Greatest Hits. Quite a nice wee compilation album, this one. It's all Slide It In, 1987 and Slip of the Tongue stuff that's on it. And this was the first appearance of a song called Sweet Lady Luck that they left off a Slip of the Tongue. which is actually a better song than stuff like slowpoke music and that. They should have put it on. It's a nice wee kind of faster song. Still got the daft Steve Vai. It's a terrible cover that for reading the track names off it, but it's got the American hits there, and they put a bond together to tour that album, and it had Warren DeMartino out of Rat, kind of in place of kind of Steve Vai, and it was Adrian Vandenberg, Rudy Sarzo, Denny Carmassi out of Heart and Montrose, who had played on Coverdale Page, and a guy called Paul Markovich or something on the keyboards. Never heard of him again. We went to see him at Edinburgh Playhouse. Quite a good gig actually, but they only did that tour and then they buggered off again. As it was the height of grunge rock, mid-90s, and the last thing you needed was guys like David Coverdale cutting about with big massive hair. This mixed up with 1997 come out this one. I've only got this one cassette because, to be honest with you, I don't really care about it that much. It's a kind of stripped back R&B style kind of light rock. It was meant to be a David Coverdale solo album, but the record company wanted it called Whitesnake. Adrian Vandenberg plays on it. I'm trying to think who the rest of the band is on that. Guy Pratt plays the bass, played with Pink Floyd. I think it's Denny Carmassi on the drums again, and a guy called Brett Tuggle who played with David Lee Roth played the keyboards. There's nothing really memorable. They actually say that they're going to do a kind of rocked up version of it with Joel Hoekstra, their current guitar player, playing some guitars on it. But apparently Whitesnake were in amongst the ones that get the master tapes destroyed in the Universal storage fire. So I don't know if the master tapes have been burned. But Ken, if they burnt the master tapes of that album, it'd be a real shame, Ken. Anyhow, cracking on, David Coverdale still mucking about. Year 2000 brings out this solo album called Into the Light. Comes back with short hair and everything. David Coverdale shouldn't have come back with short hair. Ken, he's still that way. Ken, it was 2000, but he's can't find the way. Doesn't know what he's meant to be doing outside of that kind of post grunge thing. Ken, this was just before the kind of big resurgence of the kind of 80s bands. Ken, it's alright, but it's still a bit low key. Errol Slick, that used to play with David Bowie and Dirty White Boy and the like, plays the guitar on this. Couple of good songs. Re-recording of the song Too Many Tears for the Restless Heart album, and Ken, some of them's alright. It's not really an album I care about that much, Ken. Love Is Blind and Slave, Ken, I shouldn't run it down too much, Ken. At the time it was alright, but things would get kind of better. Ken, at this time, this is like 10 years after Whitesnake had jacked it in, so they were kind of deed and buried, but then all of a sudden stuff started appearing. Whitesnake, the early years, this is a compilation that come out. This one, really good. Ken, this is what you would call these days your dad's Whitesnake. This is all stuff for the early days. I think there's maybe only one song for Slide It In, that's as far as it goes. Let's see, Gambler's on there, but that's up until, Ken, it says on there, 1978 to 84. So a kind of wee resurgence of Whitesnake, Ken, that's a really good compilation. If you're looking to get into the early Whitesnake, this is a good place to start if you've never heard it before. And then, no long after that, this came out, which is Whitesnake Silver Anniversary Collection. I think they updated this with a 30th anniversary one later on, which I never bothered buying because I had this one. But it's got Whitesnake, David Coverdale and Coverdale Page stuff on it, although I'm pretty sure there's nothing out of North Winds or the Whitesnake album. As opposed to the early years, man, the track listing of this one never really set me on fire, Ken. Hundreds of songs, but I don't know, just the running order didn't get the thing going. But I'm not going to talk too much about compilation album. good place if you want. You can probably pick that up quite cheap now and get all your Whitesnake songs on there. And this is definitely recommended if you can fin it. It's an American compilation called Here I Go Again, the Whitesnake collection, and it's 2 discs. And what it actually is this is a Slide It In album. The 1987 album bridges the 2 discs, and then the second half of disc 2 is Slip of the Tongue, and there's a bunch of bonus tracks and stuff on there, Sweet Lady Luck and the single version of Gimme All Your Love. And again, before the box sets and stuff all come out. Oh, there's somebody dinging us. That was a right good place to have all your Geffen era American Whitesnake in the one place. But a nice wee compilation that, if you can get it. That started the resurgence at 2002. It was announced Whitesnake would be playing, it was a Monsters of Rock arena tour in Britain by this time. The metalheads, the Waynes must have grew up or something. There's somebody dinging us again. All the metalheads, Waynes have grew up, and the metalheads are back packing out the arenas. Whitesnake comes back with a new lineup: Doug Aldridge, Red Beach on guitars, who was on the bass now? Marco Mendoza, Tommy Aldridge, the legend, on the drums, and Timothy Drury on keyboards. Did a tour with Whitesnake, Gary Moore, who was crap, and Y&T, who were amazing because of Leonard Tage playing a drum. But Whitesnake was definitely what you bought the ticket to go and see, and then they filmed the concert and brought this out, if I remember right. This was the first fruits of that. Whitesnake live in the still of the night, filmed, I think it was a Hammersmith Apollo, Hammersmith Odeon, like we used to call it. And this was good because it was a full gig, kinda, filmed, and a CD in there, selected songs for the concert. This was the first live offering that Whitesnake had brought out since probably Live in the Heart of the City, actually. So it was a kind of event at the time. This was before all the reissues and kind of digging in to get what they could get out the archives. At the time, this was a big deal. So I mean, if Fire had been lit up under their arse and they showed that they could still sell tickets, they did a few tours. And then what did we get after that? We get another live album, Live in the Shadow of the Blues. Again, I shouldn't run this one doing too much actually, because this is probably outside Live in the Heart of the City. This is probably the best Whitesnake live album, and it was good because it actually seen them embracing their early days. Kind of live shows up to then, you had got a mixture of stuff Slide It In 1987 and the stuff they'd re-recorded, and they would maybe play Ain't No Love in the Heart of the City. But this live album here, you've got this current band bringing back stuff like Take Me With You and Ready and Willing. Ken, these Whitesnake songs, Walking in the Shadow of the Blues, songs that hadn't been played for years and years and years, and actually since they've recorded some new albums, these songs all get dumped again. So I would recommend picking this one up. Kind of silly, there are kind of silly things happening, like they've got Crying in the Rain somewhere in there. Aye, there you go, Crying in the Rain, but it's on there as a bonus track as well, with Tommy Aldridge's drum solo in the middle of it. Ken, like, you would want to hear that, you would want to be like, oh, I don't want to hear it with no drum solo in it. Ken, drum solo is something that I think they must have a contractual obligation to with the venue so they can sell me a drink. 4 new songs on there that I've got to be honest, at the time I wasn't really that bothered about, and even now I'm not really that bothered about. I don't really like live albums with studio tracks tacked onto them. It rarely ever works. Rare exceptions being probably Kiss Alive 2 and ZZ Top's Fandango. But again, enough talking about that. I need to crack on with this. Jesus Christ, is that the time? Next up, Good to Be Bad. I think that's 2008. This was actually a See the X in the middle there, that's to signify that it's Whitesnake's 10th album. And this was made with I think Tommy Aldridge has left by this time, a guy called Chris Frazier playing the drums, and Marco Mendoza had buggered off, and it was a guy called Uriah Duffy playing the bass, if memory serves. To be honest, this one, a couple of good songs. Best Year's a really good track, but everything else in there, when you're talking about Whitesnake, Whitesnake's a bit like Judas Priest. Ever since Judas Priest had done Painkiller, everybody wants Painkiller Part 2. Or Whitesnake, everybody wants 1987 Part 2. And the songs on here, they don't stack up against Bad Boys and all the kind of Straight for the Heart, all the kind of stuff on 1987 that was amazing. It's alright, but they've kind of for what they want a Whitesnake. You've always got a few rockers with a couple of ballads in between, and then a big epic track at the end. It's a kind of blueprint album. It was alright at the time, but looking back on it now, it doesn't really stack up against the classic Whitesnake albums. At the time we were glad for whatever we got, because we didn't think we were going to ever get in again. They started heavy pushing re-releases and everything this time. They brought out 30th anniversary of Whitesnake 1987, I think it was a 2-disc at the time. And then they announced that they were going to bring this out, which is Whitesnake Live at Donington 1990. This was one I was anticipating really quite a lot, because I remember listening to this on the radio 1990. We were only about 16 at the time. There was no way we could have went down to Donington. We had no money. We was just boys, and listened to Thunder, listened to Hail Hang On the Wireless. Had it on cassette for years, and then it was that way when they heard it was coming out as an official release. It was like, oh, that's going to be great. But then they brought it out, and they had cut all the swearing and everything out, even on when they put it on the radio, on David Coverdale had hundreds of stage banter and everything, which isn't here on this. The recording's crystal clear, the recording's really, really good. Good to hear some of the slip of the tongue stuff live. It works better live than it does in the studio with less Steve Vai millions of guitars. Still flinging in hundreds of guitar solos and everything again. Whatever it was, Adrian, the Flying Dutchman or whatever, Adagio for Strat, all these bullshit names for stupid big long guitar solo. Who wants to hear a big long unaccompanied guitar solo? Why would people want to hear that? Guitar's a musical instrument. Guitar solo should be a bit of a song, really. I've not really got any time for big long. It doesn't do anything for me. The music, to me, music isn't a technical exercise. It doesn't matter how good you are. B.B. King, when I'm playing 2 notes, is where it should, how it makes you feel music. That's what it should be. I also got a DVD of this, which I'm really, really excited about. When you think of AC/DC Live, which was recorded the year after, one of the most spectacular rock concerts you've ever seen filmed. This was like a 3-camera shoot, bloody black and white bits. I think it was some of the stuff that they just put up on the screen at Donington. So I was a bit disappointed with that. The audio was pretty good, but it's worth picking up for that. Never guess what we got next after this. It was another, well, in fact, was it another live album? No, wait a minute, I'm jumping the gun here, I think. I'm jumping the gun because of this stupid, I've missed that because it came out as a fan pack. This is the next studio album after that. An album called Forevermore, which has got this stupid big cover, which is bigger than, you can't store it in your normal CD places. You need to have it in a place by itself. But the magazine Classic Rock was bringing out quite a few of these things at the time. It was like a CD and a magazine and a like a kind of cardboard packaging, and you would maybe get a badge or a poster or stuff in it as well. it was actually a nice idea until they found out that because it wasn't strictly music, that it couldn't chart. So Whitesnake and Rush and Motorhead and all these folk that did these classic rock fan packs brought these things out and sold millions of them, and their albums never got in the chart because they were disqualified because they couldn't sell it. This is another. It's better than Good to Be Bad, but again, there's too many ballads and everything in it. But there's some really, really good songs on here. Love Will Set You Free is a really good song. Steal Your Heart Away. The first couple of songs kind of throwback to kind of classic, slide guitars, that kind of stuff. The old Whitesnake. But again, too many ballads. One of these days. Easier said than done. Just exhaust you. Fare You Well. Another ballad. Forevermore. Another ballad. Like fucking. Do they know rock fans like rock music? Even women probably don't want 4 ballads on an album. It just sucks the life out you. But nice Dogs in the Street, nice song that sounds like it could have come off 1987. So this was alright, this album. Again, maybe a wee bit too long, too many songs, and at the end there they've tacked on a couple of songs for the Steve Vai concert at Donington 1990, which is a bit superfluous because if you're a fan you've probably already got them. As I was saying, after that we get another live album, which Chris Fraser and Uriah Duffy, the bass player and drummer, buggered off by this time. A guy called Brian Tichy on the drums, who apparently plays umpteen different instruments, played the drums with Whitesnake, and a guy called Michael Devon playing the bass. And I think Timothy Drury had buggered off by this time. It was just like a guy they had. Whitesnake Made in Japan. I kind of play on the classic Deep Purple live album of the same name, David Coverdale of course. I remember Deep Purple for 3 or 4 years in the early 70s. At the time this was like, it's another live album, but I'll show you in a minute. They kind of cheated a bit with this. This is live in Japan. DVD and concert. Kind of short set list here. All your Whitesnake favourites. Still of the Night, Here I Go Again, Fool for Your Lovin'. A few songs for Forevermore and Good to Be Bad. Satan Disc. Strange recordings. Where is it now? Aye, there it is there. Soundcheck recordings and stuff. And you're like, I was just scraping a bit, bottom of the barrel a bit here. Who wants this? But it was good to hear because these were songs that weren't on the concert CD, so you thought you weren't going to get them. So listen to once and then never listen to it again. So Made in Japan is a kind of strange one. Nobody cares about it. And nobody cares about it for a good reason, because they just brought it to make some money off you. They fleece the Whitesnake fans one more time. And then guess what we got straight after Made in Japan, totally unannounced, about 6 months, a year after it. You get Whitesnake Made in Britain, the world record. And this is where they have fleeced everybody here, because this is 2 CDs, and that's Made in Britain. I think I was recording the tour 2011-2012, which I didn't go to because I refused to go back and see Whitesnake after David Coverdale stopped singing so much. I don't want to hear a bunch of backing singing or the crowd singing his stuff that he should be doing. But anyway, it's a decent live album. How many times can you buy Bad Boys and Give Me All Your Love and Here I Go Again, Still of the Night, Fool for Your Lovin', There isn't, and what if the new songs here Lay Down Your Love and all that kind of stuff. Can You Hear the Wind Blow, Fare Thee Well, One of These Days. These are the songs that forced out stuff like Don't Break My Heart Again, which is world beating songs. but they've got an agenda here to get the new Whitesnake stuff ever. That's the last record they made with Doug Aldridge playing the guitar. Doug Aldridge, my opinion of Doug Aldridge, amazing guitar player, brilliant at playing other folks' stuff. Can't do anything by himself. What's he ever done? He's been in Dio, he's been in Whitesnake, he's been in House of Lords, he's been in what's Doug Aldridge ever done by himself? Same with Reb Beach. As it stands now, Reb Beach has been in Whitesnake for 18 years. Longest serving member of Whitesnake outside of David Coverdale, which is when you think that guys that have got a real legacy with Whitesnake, Bernie Marsden, probably in Whitesnake for like 4 years. John Sykes in Whitesnake for 3 years. Reb Beach has been there 18 years and played on pretty much all these records that I've just talked about. Who cares? Try to be nice. He was good and winger, but he's just a guitar player. That's all he is. Around about this time, they were supposed to be doing tours. They did big tours with Journey and Def Leppard in America, and they were meant to be doing a co-headlining tour with Judas Priest, but David Coverdale had to cancel it because of throat trouble. So that kind of held them up for a wee while. And then there were rumours of a new album coming out, and in amongst all of this, I'm pretty sure Tommy Aldridge reappeared, and they got a new keyboard player, a guy called Michel Lippi, who's a Italian guy, apparently a really, really good singer, which is handy because David Coverdale would get him to help him sing live. So it's like, what, new Whitesnake album? And the guy coming in for Doug Aldridge was ex-Night Ranger, Trans-Siberian Orchestra guitar player Joel Hoekstra, who, pretty good. He brought an album out at the time called Dying to Live, a solo album, and I remember listening to it and thinking, if he'd held after that solo album and kept a few of these songs for Whitesnake, it would actually have been a really good album. So it was like, hey, this could be quite good, that guy can write songs. But then it got announced that this was what we were getting. Whitesnake, the Purple album. I think when was this, 2015, around about that time. I remember buying this one. I wasn't going to buy it because I was up... I'm a big fan of Deep Purple as well, and what this is, it's called the Purple album because David Coverdale went back and re-recorded a bunch of his stuff with Deep Purple. Classic tracks like Burn and Stormbringer and all that kind of stuff. It's an album nobody wanted, really, but I take it they must have had to fulfill a contract to some kind of record company or something, because that's what we got. And I can't. Why would you do that, Ken? How can you re-record Burn, Mistreated? Anything basically, I think there's like 6 songs after Burn album on there, probably, but 5 half of Stormbringer and a couple half Come Taste the Band. You can't do Burn and stick a big widdly guitar solo in it. Who cares about that? I bought this, I wasn't going to buy it, but I bought it, we were away camping and I bought it up to Stirling to listen to it while I was driving about in the car. And I don't know who their engineer is or who the producer is in anything, but this album sounded terrible. The drums and everything, it sounds as if somebody recorded it on their computer. And when we're talking about Whitesnake, I'm talking about big time rock bands. Why are they making records on the cheap? Why are they recording things probably in a cupboard somewhere with a guitar player plugged into a recording desk? What is wrong with ambient miking in a room with a guitar amp actually turned on and recording real drums with real microphones? I just don't get it. So then they announced that they were doing this tour called the Purple Tour, and guess what they did when they were on the Purple tour? They brought in a live album there, Whitesnake, the Purple tour. The live album's actually better than I thought it was going to be, because you can go and look yourself if you're interested, but there's actually quite a few full shows for the Purple tour on YouTube, and David Coverdale's singing. Ken, God love him, he's an old guy now, he's more than an elder statesman now, he is old, Ken, he's pushing 70, but his singing wasn't that good. I've got a funny feeling there's maybe been a wee bit of jiggery pokery tampering recording back in the studio. There we go, Whitesnake live album, what have we got here at the end? Fool for Your Loving, Here I Go Again, Still of the Night, Bad Boys, Love Ain't No Stranger. It's meant for me about the Purple tour. What's with all these classic Whitesnake songs? The songs probably sound better live than they do on the actual Purple album, but the most frustrating thing about this is it comes with a kind of DVD, Blu-ray, whatever it is, but they've got bonus tracks on the Blu-ray. You Keep On Moving, Lay Down, Stay Down. These aren't on the live CD. Why do you want another live CD version of Here I Go? I mean, I understand why they've got it, because folk the casual person that doesn't have any Whitesnake might come in and buy that, but what I get sick of that. Ken, why do that to your actual fans? Give your fans something. Who cares about the casual person that might come in and buy your album? Fuck them. Sorry, I'm swearing. I don't try not to swear on these videos, but Ken, I do get a bit angry about it. So I mean, the Purple album, the Purple tour, what could you call it? Treading water, kind of keeping things going without really doing anything. Kind of re-recording stuff that you had sang better 35 years before. This takes us up to near enough to now, where they finally announced that they were going to do an actual new studio album with new music on it. And then it was announced they were bringing it out, and then they had the date that it was coming out on, but then that date got pulled. I think it was like coming out in like 3 weeks or something, but then it was announced it was going to take them another year because they had mucked up the recording or something, or wiped it, and they had to go back. And then when it come out, when would this have been now? About 7-8 months ago. Whitesnake, Flesh and Blood. There's good news and bad news here. The good news is it's easily the best Whitesnake album that they've made since 1987. The songs are really good, and it's a nice length, but it's still the engineering problems. It sounds absolutely terrible. I don't know what it sounds like on a speaker the size of a shower speaker in the bog or whatever, kind of wee tiny speaker, but actually on good audio equipment this sounds absolutely terrible. But it's made for the MP3 age, so who cares? But again, maybe too many songs, too many ballads, although the running time's no too bad, it's only about 50 minutes. But some right good songs on there. I'm trying to think now. The first song they released after was Shut Up and Kiss Me, which I thought was a bit stupid. But then, again, when I bought it and I heard some of the other ones, again, Good to See You again's a bit cheesy. But Gonna Be Alright, that kind of stuff. Flesh and Blood. Trouble Is Your Middle Name. There's some good songs, and then they're doing that kind of blueprint thing where they're going for the big epic track at the end. There's some extra stuff here on a DVD. Again, it's getting towards the end for Whitesnake. I mean, the Whitesnake legacy, when they look back in 100 years, Ken, if anybody still cares about massive big haired, big rock star types, when they look back in 100 years, they'll only probably say, aye, Whitesnake were a really good band up until 1987, Ken. They still did some things after that, but it wasn't what it was, Ken. And still, if honest, Ken, Everything I buy everything that Whitesnake bring out because I'm a big fan of Whitesnake, just hoping that you'll get that wee tiny bit of... I don't know, it must be like buying... I think music's like buying drugs. Again, you keep buying it because you want that high you get off it. When you know that these people can do... If they can do what you know they can do, then it's worth paying for. But you end up disappointed. Again, time and again you end up disappointed. But again, Flesh and Blood wasn't bad. I think David Coverdale's days as a live performer are definitely coming to an end. They played at Donington. There's a couple of videos for Donington. Depending on, again, there's pro shot videos that sound good, but then you've got folk that had actually recorded for their phones, which are actual real live videos, where you're like, I wonder if they've fixed up that singing in some way, because the ones you hear on the live videos are nothing like what the other ones. God love him, Ken. I've been a fan of David Coverdale for, Ken, 30 odd years, and I wouldn't change him. He needs to get rid of the brown specs because he looks like an old woman. But so I'm just sending that one. Big Paul says to me, he says, what about doing a Whitesnake? Well, I'll come back and I'll do part 1 of Whitesnake, which will cover, in fact I'll probably fling in everything for David Coverdale's Whitesnake album, North Winds, all the way through to Slip of the Tongue, and I'll cover the box sets that they've brought out lately, because a couple of things there that I might have missed, because they brought out a thing called Starkers in Tokyo, which is a live album for the Restless Heart tour, which is just David Coverdale and Adrian Vandenberg playing a guitar, stripped back acoustic guitar singing. I don't care about that, I just don't want to hear that shit. I like rock music because I like electric guitars, I like drums, I like the beat. I could care less. Leave that shit to Neil Young because he kens what he's doing. I don't want to hear different versions of things. I want to hear them in the arrangement I heard. Made my big toe shoot up my boot the first time I heard it. So that's enough of me talking about Whitesnake. I need to get out of here because I'm going round to see my mate Gordon tonight. So if you're into a bit of Whitesnake, thanks very much for listening. Thanks very much if you made it right through to the end of the video. Maybe I had to do a lot of talking in a short amount of time, but hey, that's Whitesnake. That's Whitesnake. Right, so anyway, enjoy the rest of the night. I'll see you later.